Hello everybody, today I have a very special dish for you, and it is from our restaurant, the garden. If you've been there before, I will show you the exact same way that I made in the restaurant, and it is a very delicious dish. So I hope you like it, and let's get right into it. Okay, to start off, I will show you the ingredients that we need to make this delicious dish. Okay. So the first thing is, of course, tofu casserole. You must have tofu, okay? So you just need 3 blocks of tofu like this, and preferably medium firm, because that's the best one. And followed by, we have some basil, the fresh basil, and the amount it's roughly like 1 stalk, okay? So 1 stalk of fresh basil. I just pick the leaves. And followed by, we have some fresh Chinese mushroom, and we have some vegetarian, we call it soy ham. It's made out of soy. And we have some couple slices of fresh ginger. And this too is optional. And the reason I call optional, because we don't use it in the restaurant, but when I cook for myself, I prefer to add them because they just complement very well. So the first thing is some bell pepper, and then you can use any color, yellow, red, green, up to you. And also I add a little bit of the one piece of king oyster mushroom. And then next is we have some seasonings that we use. Okay, so olive oil. This is sesame oil. And this is a vegetarian oyster mushroom sauce, and I will put a picture next to it so you can see what brand I use. And then next you have some chili sauce. And of course, if you don't use chili sauce, you can also use some fresh cut Thai chili, up to you. And then next thing is I add a little bit of black vinegar. So any black vinegar works, but I preferably using balsamic vinegar because I like the taste. And then lastly, and most importantly, this sauce is the fundamental for this dish. It's called sachajiang in Chinese, and it's actually vegetarian barbecue sauce. And of course, this is not a container, and I will put a picture next to it, and you will see what brand and what kind of barbecue sauce that I use. Okay, and that's it. Okay, the next step is we'll have to cut out tofu. Okay, so to cut a tofu like this, pick one side and you just cut it. But I don't want to do it on my hand, so usually I do that in the restaurant. Just cut it. But here I just show you on the cutting board. All you need to do is cut this tofu in half like this, and then just half again, and half again here. So you have total 4 pieces out of the tofu. Okay. And just continue doing this until you finish all the tofu. Okay, the next thing we need to cut is, if you want to put the oyster mushroom, I'm just going to show you how I cut the king oyster mushroom. Okay, so first of all, cut the heads off. Cut this part a little bit kind of, so I cut the tail off, and this part we don't use. Okay, and then next thing, they call it, in Chinese they call it 滚刀. So all you do is just, can you see? Okay, cut like this. I just cut in a diagonal a little bit off the corner like this, and you roll, and you cut again, and you roll over and cut it again. Just keep cutting the edge. Okay, so until the whole thing's off. See, that's called 滚刀, or you can rolling cut, or whatever you call it. Yeah. So that's done. And here I just cut into 4 pieces. So that's roughly the same size as the other ones. And all you need is put it away, and that's it. Okay, for the next part is we have to deep fry our tofu. Okay, so the first thing is you have to heat up your oil to the right temperature. I already turned on, and turn on your fan, and you have to test the temperature of the oil. Okay, so the way I do it is I take wooden chopsticks and just put it in. See, when you put it in, you'll see the bubble coming off on the tip of the the chopsticks. That means the temperature is it's good. Okay. Okay, and then the next part is I would say the most intimidating part of cooking this dish is you have to put in your tofu inside the oil. I know some people get scared, so don't worry. I have a tip for you. Okay, so you grab some kind of spatula like this. You can put your tofu on top of it. 2 slices, and just slide in like this. So see, you won't have to worry about the oil touching you. Just put it on top and just put it here. So now we just have to wait for the deep fry, and occasionally after for like maybe a minute or so, you can give a little stir with chopsticks, like this, give a little push and stuff. And you usually have to deep fry for like about, I tested, it's like 5 minutes at home, but if it's at the restaurant, it's quicker. I put it in, push the timer, and that's it, 3 minutes. But here, our temperature is not as high, so probably roughly 5 minutes. And make sure you turn on the heat to high, okay? Because the household, especially this kind of ceramic, it's not hot enough. So if you don't put the temperature high enough when you deep fry stuff, sometimes often is the stuff will suck up a lot of oil and it'll be too greasy, so make sure temperature is high enough, and we just have to wait. Okay, so after like around like 4 to 5 minutes, you can start seeing the tofu. If this is different than a restaurant, because in the restaurant you can deep fry the whole thing to golden brown, and that's perfect. But I found if you deep fry at home, if you take the tofu and deep fry all the way to golden brown, like everything outside, it becomes the inside will be hollow, like empty, nothing. So pretty much you're eating a tofu crust, so that's not good. Okay, so around this, that's what you see, like the golden on the outside kind of form on the side. The middle still a little bit white, but that's pretty much good enough for the tofu. Okay, so just deep fry maybe another like 10 seconds, and we'll pick it up. Yeah, about like this, kind of still white in the middle, but it's good enough. Okay, so we can take the tofu out now and put it aside in a plate of some kind, container, like this. And just continue with the next batch until you finish deep frying all your tofu. Okay, so the next thing we need to deep fry is our Chinese mushroom. And of course, we'll do the same way. Okay, just put the Chinese mushroom on the spatula and then just put it in, so we don't burn ourselves. And this one's very easy. All you do is just burn until you see like a little bit kind of like brown on the outside. You can smell it too. Okay, you can smell it, and usually takes about like a minute, maybe a little bit less. Yeah, just you can see the mushroom turning brown. See, that's about it. So our mushroom's ready. So just lightly deep fry. You don't need to deep fry the whole thing all the way. And just put it. We'll take this quicker. So just put it in here. And that's it. Okay, so next thing is we are ready to cook our dish. Okay, so first of all, we just turn on the heat and get some hot wok. I already did that, so you can turn the heat after the pot's hot. Make sure you turn down the heat to like a little bit low, okay? Because we need to add oil. See? And when you see smoke on the oil, that means it's good. So we put some ginger in. Give it a little stir for like 30 seconds. Okay, so next thing is we need to add some sauce first. Okay, so first of all, 1 tablespoon of barbecue sauce, followed by 1 teaspoon of oyster. 1 teaspoon of oyster sauce, and just stir fry the sauce, kind of. And then we put the mushroom in. Pretty much all the ingredients, soy and the green oyster mushroom, red pepper. Give a little stir first. You can already smell the fragments, so good. And then now you can add a little tofu in. Okay, just first of all, add a little water first, okay, just a little bit, so not too dry on the top. Next thing is add a little onion basil in. And add just depends on your chili sauce, okay? This one is extremely hot, so I just put a little bit, but depends on your preference and depends on your sauce. You can add more or less, okay? Depends on you. And then now just need to sprinkle a couple drops of balsamic vinegar or any black vinegar. Just give it a stir. Okay, you can turn the heat back a little bit higher and then add a little water. And then put everything in the water and cover it with the lid, okay? And let it cook for like another 30 seconds to a minute. So after about a minute, we open the lid. You can see this, not only the smoke, but the smell already. You can smell it. And at this point, you just add a little bit of sesame oil. And then you could use the thickening, for this dish, but I don't think I need it because the water is already pretty low already, so it's good. You don't want to completely dry too, okay? So just a little bit of wet. And now you can find, now the next step is all you need is just put in some kind of dish, like, I picked this one, just looks nicer, but you can just pick a dish, and put it on. So all you do is just this, put it in. You should put the tofu in first and put like a little bit of the other stuff on the top so it looks more nicer. And voila! With that, we got one more piece of ham. With that, we finish our dish. Okay, now I come down to the best part of the cooking, taste your own food. So let's take a look. It smells so good. So let me take a piece of tofu and maybe a piece of mushroom. Let's give it a taste. Ooh, it's really good. Okay, I'll try more. Yeah, ooh, it's good. So a lot of people, this is like one of our most popular dish in the restaurant. A lot of people even like when they don't have it, they move away, and they always contact me and say, "Oh, how do you cook this dish?" This is a very famous dish and in our restaurant, very popular. So, and the best part about this dish is it's not very complicated to make. like gathering the ingredients. It's not really hard either. You know, just couple ingredients, simple ingredients, but the taste is splendid. You know, like really good. So hope you enjoy this dish, and if you have a chance, give it a try. You know, gather some ingredients and cook it, make it yourself, and let me know how your food turn out. And hope you like it, and I will see you in the next video.